Flames lick at the broken earth, casting long, dancing shadows. The clash of steel has faded, replaced by the crackle of fire and the whisper of a lonely wind. I am the only one left standing. All around me stillness. A sea of the fallen, friend and foe alike, now silent under a smoke-choked sky. My armor is shattered, a testament to the fight. My sword feels heavy in my hand. Should I let it fall? Or hold on, just a little longer? Is it truly over? Dust and ash clung to her, a gritty mask of the battlefield she was leaving behind. Through weary eyes, she saw them banners flapping in the distance. Friend or foe? Memory failed her, blurred by the ringing in her ears and the ache deep in her bones. Still, she moved. One foot in front of the other, the weight of her sword a familiar burden. The walk stretched into an eternity, each step a testament to her will to survive. She just had to reach those banners. Ahead, the torches swayed in the smoke-laden air, their flickering light beckoning her forward. Edith finally reached the camp's glow and froze. Something was moving in the haze. Her hand tightened on the hilt of her sword, every muscle tensed. Then, from a tent flap, a woman emerged, clutching a jug. "You there?" Edith called out, her voice raspy. "What is in that jug?" The woman startled, nearly dropping it. Water, miss." Edith stepped closer, her armor clinking softly. "Which side are you from?" The woman hesitated for a beat, her eyes wide with fear. "We are from the West Territory." Relief broke across Edith's face like the dawn. "Thank the heavens. Here, give me the jug." She drank deeply, the cool liquid a blessing on her parched throat. Then, she tipped the rest over her head. The rush of water washed away the grime and blood of battle. The woman stared, her expression shifting from fear to shock, then to awe as recognition finally struck. She dropped to her knees. "Your Majesty," she whispered, her voice trembling. "Princess Edith." The title hung in the air. For the first time since the battle ended, she remembered who she was, not just a survivor, but a leader. As others emerged from the shadows, their eyes widened, a wave of recognition washing over them. Edith straightened up, her drenched hair dripping onto the stone floor. She looked at the faces staring back at her, a mix of hope and disbelief. "Rise," she commanded, her voice steady despite the ache in her bones. Captain Taran Vale, his leg dragging from a recent wound, limped forward, his gaze fixed on her. "Princess, we thought all was lost. We thought you were." "Not while I still draw breath," she answered, cutting him off. Her resolve was as sharp as the sword she carried. A young scout, Thomas, his face still smudged with dirt, pointed a trembling finger. "The sword? It saved us. It cleared the way." The Edith's jaw tightened. The names of her lost companions, their lives stolen by the very blade that had saved the others, echoed in her mind. It was a heavy price to pay. An old shrine keeper, Mira, her face a roadmap of wrinkles, raised her gnarled staff. "Beware, child. That sword takes as much as it gives. Its hunger is never satisfied." Just then, a new voice, smooth and chilling, slithered from the shadows. "She speaks the truth." A tall man in tattered robes stepped into the dim light, his presence commanding the space. "I am Kalen the Hollow, and I know the curse of that blade better than anyone." Edith's eyes narrowed. She remembered the whispers, the old stories of the banished sorcerer who delved too deep into forbidden arts. "You were cast out," she said, her voice dangerously low, "for playing with powers that should have been left alone." His sudden appearance was no coincidence, and a new, more sinister threat began to take shape in the darkness.
The survivors broke camp at dawn. Smoke still curled from the battlefield behind them, a black scar on the horizon. Edith led the column, Fury's edge strapped across her back. its weight a constant reminder of both her power and her curse. At her side walked Kellen, the hollow, silent, but watchful, his presence drawing wary glances from every soldier. As they neared the Riverlands, word spread ahead of them, the princess lives. By the time the gates of Kelbrin rose into view, villagers had gathered along the road, bowing, weeping, calling her name. Edith forced a smile, but inside she felt the gnawing dread of what awaited in the throne hall. King Aldrich sat rigid on the high seat, his silver hair catching the torchlight. Queen Serenia stood beside him, her healer's hands folded tightly, her eyes already searching Edith for wounds. Prince Dorian lingered in the shadows, his expression unreadable. When Edith entered, the hall fell silent. She knelt, sword laid before her. "My daughter," the king said, his voice heavy with both relief and suspicion. "You return to us when all others are ash. Tell me, by what means did you survive?" Edith lifted her head. "By this blade, father, and by the aid of one you once cast out." Gasps rippled through the court as Kellen stepped forward, bowing low. The king's face darkened. "You dare bring this exile into my hall?" Edith's voice did not waver. "I dare because without him, I will not endure. Fury's edge saves armies, but it devours me. Kellen can mend what it steals. If I am to lead Valoria, if I am to wield this sword again, I must have him at my side." The queen's eyes filled with sorrow. "Edith, do you know what you ask of us?" "I do," Edith said, "and I will convince you it is for the best. For Valoria, for all of us." Kellen opened his mouth to speak, but the king's hand shot up like a blade. Silence. Aldrich thundered, his voice echoing through the vaulted chamber. "I will not hear your poison words, sorcerer. You were cast out once, and you should never have returned." The king's gaze shifted to Edith, stern and unyielding. For a heartbeat, his eyes softened, relief that she lived. But the steel returned just as quickly. Without another word, he rose from the throne. The queen laid a hand on Aldrich's arm, her voice soft but steady. "Aldrich, she speaks truth. Look at her. She carries the weight of the dead already. Will you let her carry it alone?" The king's jaw tightened. He looked from Edith, kneeling and desperate, to Kellen, waiting in silence at the far end of the hall. At last, he spoke, his voice low and dangerous. "Very well, he may remain, but under my watch and under my terms. One misstep, one whisper of betrayal, and I will see his head on a pike." Edith bowed her head, relief flooding her chest. "Thank you, father." But as the king strode away, his cloak sweeping behind him, Edith saw the doubt still burning in his eyes. She had won a reprieve, not a victory. And Kellen the Hollow smiled faintly in the shadows, as though this was the outcome he had foreseen all along. As Edith hurried after her father, she felt eyes on her. She turned her head just enough to catch her brother's gaze. Prince Dorian walked a few paces behind the king and queen, his hands clasped behind his back, his expression carefully composed. But his eyes, sharp, calculating, lingered on her. He said nothing. He didn't need to. Her chest tightened. Dorian had always been the one who saw the angles, the risks, the hidden snares. He would not forgive her easily for siding with Kellen. And worse, she knew he would not stay silent for long. Edith broke her gaze and pressed forward, her boots echoing in the marble corridor. But the weight of her brother's unspoken judgment followed her like a shadow. Behind her, Kellen drifted silently, his ember-bright eyes flicking between the siblings. He smiled faintly, as though he had seen this fracture in the royal family long before Edith had. Edith turned to Kellen. her voice steady though her heart still raced. "Come," she said, "I will show you to your quarters." But before Kellen could move, the king's voice cut through the hall like a blade. "No," Aldrich thundered. "Show him to the lower levels. I will not have him here among us." The words echoed off the stone walls, final and cold. The courtiers murmured, some nodding in agreement, others casting uneasy glances at Edith. Kellen inclined his head slightly, his expression unreadable. "The lower levels," then he murmured, as though the insult did not touch him. But his ember-bright eyes flicked toward Edith, and she saw the faintest glimmer of amusement there, as if he had expected nothing less. Edith clenched her jaw. She wanted to protest, to demand that Kellen be treated as an ally, not a prisoner. But she saw the set of her father's shoulders, the iron in his gaze. To defy him here, in front of the court, would only deepen the rift. So she bowed her head. "As you command, father." The guards stepped forward, spears in hand, to escort Kellen down into the torch-lit stairwell that led beneath the palace. The sorcerer followed without resistance, his robes whispering against the stone. As the doors closed behind him, Edith felt the weight of her father's judgment pressing down on her. She had won Kellen's presence in Kael'bran, but at a cost. He would be caged in the shadows, and her own loyalty would be questioned with every step she took. And in the silence that followed, Prince Dorian's eyes found hers again, sharp, calculating, and full of unspoken warning. What happens next? Find out in our next chapter. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe.